Hi, my name is Prince, and I'm here to talk to you about PACE, which is Philosophy, Art, Code, and Enterprise. And my proposition is that life is set up in this structure of philosophy, art, code, and enterprise for humans. And the PACE system is the best way we have right now to understand our lives and reality and all this knowledge that we're contending with. Now, you might think that, oh, this is too broad and, someone should focus on one thing. I should be a coder, an entrepreneur, or should be, just an artist or just be a philosopher. I disagree with that completely. In my experience, in my 26 years of experience of living, quarter of a century, I know it's not much. However, the knowledge that I've distilled to come up with this it's way older than me and probably you. So who's to say whether I'm right or not? In fact, that's what we're here to find out. That's what I want to know: how this pay system can help, can continue to help me and everyone else to lead better lives for themselves. I can promise you that ever since I started to see the world as structured in philosophy, art, code, and enterprise, as a matrix of philosophy, art, code, and enterprise, it's made things simpler for me. And the problem that we have, which our parents never had to deal with, has been alleviated to some degree for me. Um, Now, this problem is it's imminent. Fake news, fake research, um, deep fakes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look it up. In any case, our parents always had to go through certain loops, through certain hurdles to get their information. So your mom or your dad had to go to a library which had books which had been published through publishing houses with editors and a certain structure of reviewing the content within the book. So knowledge previously has been a bit difficult to get. You had to find the shaman or the storytelling authority in your community, um, and having anyway and having these authorities that were the guardians of knowledge had its benefits, as far as the quality of knowledge, preserving the quality of knowledge and ensuring that whatever eventually got to us, to everyone else, was something that was, by consensus, the best of knowledge. Now, we have the opposite problem that our parents had. We don't have so many hurdles to the knowledge. As a matter of fact, we have too much information coming at us. So you wake up every day and there's tweets from here, information from there, these blogs are publishing that, these newspapers are saying this, scientific journals are saying this, and then the conspiracy theories don't stop every day. They're just producing stuff about, oh, this person did that, the aliens did this, and the cabals are doing that, and the Illuminati, and there's just so much information, and it's hard for us to know. The US is blaming China for this, China is blaming the US for that, Russia and Saudi Arabia is saying this about the Americans, and then the Africans have their own things to be figuring out, and we are also blaming other powers, so to speak, blaming other powers for the state of the reality around us. Now, I believe that a solid means, a coherent and stable means of understanding and organizing knowledge is what we need right now more than ever. So when we encounter all this information and our friends tell us wild theories, we have a way to navigate it, to classify it, and to qualify it in a way that clarifies our hierarchy of knowledge and therefore our values in a way that enables us to make the best decisions for our lives and our families and our communities and our societies. And countries and globally at large, the whole human race, in a way that improves things for us, or at least in a way that gives us the best meaning for life. So that's what the pay system is all about. I found that in my years of again, a quarter century, it's not that much. However, in all these years, I've realized that life is structured for humans. For us to perceive anything, we we need a philosophy. If you don't have a philosophy, it's just really hard to perceive life in any meaningful way. Philosophy is that it's that mental activity of figuring out how things work, or positing how things work, or the reason I'm struggling with this is because there's always the unknown and then the known. So philosophy is in fact the activity of mediating between those two, and then setting up a hierarchy of knowledge in terms of how relevant and important it is in us leading the kinds of lives we want to live. Okay, so philosophy is that the act of just mediating between what you know and what you don't know in a way that improves your values and what you do with your life for you in your own terms, in the way you see reality. It improves it for you, not some arbitrary good. It's not arbitrary good, it's good that you say is good. So that's what philosophy is about. As humans, if you have a different philosophy, you perceive life differently from the next person, even if you're looking at the same set of events. A famous story is the one with the atheist and the Christian, where the atheist says, "Oh, I was lost in the snow, and I was about to die, and I prayed to God and asked Him to save me, and that this is the final, the final test. If God exists, you should save me now." And apparently, the atheist didn't end up believing in God, and the reason he didn't believe in God is because two Eskimos came and saved him. So it wasn't God or whatever he expected. Now, when he told the story to the Christian man says, if you don't believe now, I don't know when you'll ever believe, because the way I see it, that was the miracle. So because of the different philosophies they had, the Christians saw that as God's response to the prayer, and the atheists saw it as there were just some guys walking up because things are random, and for whatever the philosophy was, it was not one predicated on things happen because I request for them. In any case, my point is that philosophy colors the world you see. Whatever philosophy you have is how high your life can go. It's as good as your life can get is determined by your philosophy. Now, art is interesting matter. And please be aware that I'm just brushing over these things. I'm giving the simplest explanations because we will go into these as I talk to more people. So now art is just interesting matter. So for example, a table is a piece of art. A painting is a piece of art. So code is a piece of art. Movies, piece of art, obviously. So in any case, art is just anything that is interesting, and it is interesting primarily because it kind of sits in this in between what we know and don't know as humans. It evokes our emotions. That's the usually accepted definition of art. It's a piece that evokes our emotions. Now, with that said, we will go into how these are related, because they are always related. So from art you get code. So once you have a philosophy in life, and then you start experimenting, messing around with reality around you, you start to realize some consistencies. So the experimenting part is the art phase of life. You just do things purely out of instinct, without any articulated way to describe what is happening, or how you feel, or just to describe reality, to understand reality. You just experience it. So that's art, experimentation, and instinctual experience. And so once you experience a lot of that enough, you start to pick out codes in it. So, for example, if you start hitting a drum, it's artistic. You don't really know what that is, and you don't know what it makes you feel. And then, but once you start hitting it a specific way, and you're like, oh, we can call that rock and roll drumming, or we can call that jazz drumming. So that's where code comes into play. So if you do something and it always gives the same result, you consider it a code. That way, someone else can now use those codes to do what you did. Now, typically, as humans, we don't just discover codes because they're there and fun, even though they are there and fun. We discover them to solve problems. You discover them to solve problems that we have in life. So, for example, the music, you discover that it usually evokes the similar emotion, and you call it jazz, and it sounds the same. So you take it and you put it in a club, and you tell people, hey, if you want to feel a certain way, you come here. So now the music is solving a problem for other people. The problem that those people have is, hey, I feel like this, and I'd like to feel like this. So that's the problem solving aspect of it. So you can think of this in any category of life, in any dimension of life. I promise you will find that any problem that's solved is because there's a code that's applied to it. So a code is that we know that if you do this, then this will follow, and if this is not what happens, this is what follows. And that can only come out of experimentation, an artistic phase of just trying things out and seeing what sticks, seeing how things work. And that cannot really happen meaningfully without an overarching philosophy. And that philosophy is typically trying to achieve a certain state of reality, because you've ascribed some meaning to life for whatever reason. Whether you think, oh, we should do good, or oh, my philosophy is that we shouldn't be destroying the planet. Whatever your philosophy is, it will lead to the way it will govern the way you live your life, to the point that we can look at the problems you solve and the way that you solve them, and deduce your philosophy. It doesn't matter what you say about it, what you do and the way you do it. We can reasonably well figure out what your philosophy is. So that's what pace is all about, and that's why it's very important. And I'm not the best at it. I'm not, in the sense that I'm not the best philosopher, or the best artist, or the best coder, or the best entrepreneur. However, I do feel like I'm one of the greatest pacers, in just having studied the thing and observed it again and again consciously. Because we all experience it. It's just maybe you weren't previously conscious of it, although you can feel that there's a consistency in the way that things are. So I'm going to bring you other people that I'll be talking to help me navigate all this knowledge and branch out into fields which I am less experienced in and less well read in. And it is my hope that information, those conversations, will enlighten me a bit more every day. And hopefully, the ultimate goal is to improve my philosophy such that it improves the level of art I get to experience, the level of code I get to experience and produce and manipulate, so that I can solve problems in enterprise in the way that in the best way, in the most efficient and best way, with the least external problems, so with the least externalities possible. Now everything is connected, so we will be talking about. There will be no barrier to what we'll be talking about, which is why the conversations are framed in the form of pace. So whether I'm talking to a doctor or a lecturer or a business person or an artist, it will always be framed in the form of PACE, because we all, in our different endeavors in life and our different missions, we all go through this. We all have to try and figure out our pace. And the irony is that pace implies this speed, which is one of the things which makes human life. That is, a speed is distance over time. So that already is getting into space time, and so in any case, it's just it's a wonderful coincidence. So I'm asking you right now to please join for the next 4 conversations, and you do that by subscribing and hitting that little bell there, so you can know when I drop the interviews with the more experienced people than I am. If you don't like the first 3 interviews, I encourage you to unsubscribe, because I want people to actually engage with the material. And if the conversation isn't working for you, then I need to know, because they work for me. I have these conversations every day, and so I figured, why not just get them on film, and maybe other people may benefit. Maybe you may benefit. I'm hoping you will benefit, actually. So yeah, subscribe, and I'll be dropping the next conversation, or the first conversation, within a month, and from then it'll probably be 1 conversation per month, because I really want the quality to be the best. I'll be talking to the best people that will talk to me. So that's the best promise I can make you: a video a month. So welcome to PACE. I hope you recognize the problem that you are being bombarded with a lot of information, and you don't even know what information is useful, which information is valuable. I certainly am in that position. And so there are people who have done the work for us. There are people with more experience, and they've done some of the work for us. We can just listen, and if we use the PACE framework of understanding reality, I have faith, as it has happened in my life, that it'll become clearer and clearer, and your life will become better and better, and you will be able to find the meaning that you seek, because you have created it. You choose life. No one forces you to keep on living, and so that means you believe that there's some meaning to life. And if you keep analyzing your own existence in the PACE framework, you will be in a better position. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to be fully understanding this all at once. So that's why we'll be having these conversations with other people. And I have a blog where you can go and see where I've referenced some people that are way smarter than me, way more experienced than me, way more researched than me, who have hinted in their work that this is the right framework for life, the PACE framework. So I'm confident that this is what we should be doing. These are the conversations we should be having about reality in the framework of PACE. So until next time, be good, and peace and love. Prince of PACE. See you next time.